I can't believe I'm sitting across from the Tanisha, who, if you had told me 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, you are lying. How did this happen, Tanisha?
Honestly, I ended up on the block and it just didn't fall in my favor. I think that if I could have avoided the block this week, then I would have been able to, you know, go maybe a couple more weeks, but
Make a run.
Make a run for it. I think that a lot of people in the house started to see, though, that that was a little dangerous because I was doing pretty well, to be honest. I had great relationships. I had a solid alliance by my side, so they were smart in taking their shot at me.
I mean, where is the lie? They were maybe very, very smart.
Yes.
But your campaigning was pretty casual because you were very safe for a while and you felt very safe.
Yes.
Do you have any regrets on how you campaigned or how you went about it?
I do. I think also me being very, very nice that, you know, they mistook my kindness for weakness, but this is just the type of person that I am in the outside world.
You're trying to cook for everyone.
I'm always the one
to cry on.
Exactly. I'm a mom, so by nature, I just want to help people. I want to feed people. I want to clean. I want, you know, everybody to be happy. And I think that it did work to my advantage a bit, but some people in the house just really started to notice that, wow, you know, she's gaining a lot of trust with a lot of people and we're going to have to get her out. And so the campaigning, I wanted to take a more clean route because it was next to Moose and that was my guy. I was not going to bash him at all.
Oh my gosh, you were on the block beside Moose, one of your besties. Okay, we will get to that. We will get to that. But tell me about that spidey sense that started tingling. And I saw that you and Summer both kind of felt something was off. Marty was treating you a little different. Helena was treating you a little. So tell me when it started to dawn on you that, wait, nobody wants to sit beside me at the end.
Marty, MMs, I'm so sorry. Marty started to kind of drift away from me after I had mentioned to Summer that I didn't know if I really trusted him fully because he did take some information and go to the other side of the house and blamed it on me even though it wasn't me that said it. I knew that he was kind of straying away. Helena, we were in an alliance together, like Mandems. We're supposed to go far.
Okay, so let's explore this whole relationship and how this fell apart because you guys were, you know, part of a clique for a minute there.
Absolutely. It was supposed to be the four of us. Like, it was very ironic that we were called Mandems because we were four girls, but that was the irony and thought it was cute.
Very cute, very cute. I can confirm.
Thank you. I just, you know, from the beginning, I said, this is who I want to rock with. Helena, at first, I wasn't too sure. I definitely, from the get-go, Betty and Summer were my girls, so I knew that it was going to be good. Helena, I kind of questioned a little bit, but I was like, you know what, maybe you're being paranoid. Just get it out of your head. She's with us. It's cool. And then, you know, those spidey senses definitely started to tingle even more in the past couple of days where the vibes were off. And I kind of felt like that motherly instinct, something's going on.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. And this
So that was the biggest surprise then for you?
Yes, absolutely. I tried to plead my case at the very end with Helena. I knew Marty was not going to give me his vote. I was pretty surprised that Kevin actually decided to go the other way as well. I had always tried to nurture our relationship in the house and give him pointers and help him out, but it just didn't work in my favor.
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to sit beside you with you. I mean, really,
they were threatened. Who wouldn't be threatened by this? Come on.
But, I mean, here's the thing with Helena. You had tried appealing to Jess, saying, okay, what about Gino? Gino just picked you up. What about Marty? What about Jason? And then you kind of went through who the options were, and then you did pitch Helena. So tell me a bit about that and how that kind of came to bite you.
So when I initially spoke with Jess in the question mark room, I named off 5 people. So myself, Betty, Summer, Helena, and Kevin. And they didn't say, like, no. They kind of, you know, indirectly, you know, confirmed that we were replacement nominee options. And so when I went into their room, I I definitely was fighting for Josh not to go up and for Betty not to go up. But at the same time, I didn't want them to get on the scent of the Mandems. So I felt like if I started to, defend too much, that it would come and bite me in the ass. And it came and bit me in the ass anyway.
It did. But here's the thing. You are an incredible social player. Many, many house guests have talked about how you are maybe one of the best in the house. You didn't know, though, that a lot of people thought you were a full-on mastermind, strategic mastermind as well. You have no idea. You have no idea just how threatened people had been
That is
by your
insane
game.
to
Oh,
me.
yeah, you didn't know that. But you had 3 alliances that all kind of failed you.
Yeah.
Right? The 7,
Yeah.
the Mandems, and the siblings.
And the siblings.
Oh, my gosh. But you ended the game with the
Yes.
squad.
With the squad.
So what was the advice that you gave them to unify? Because the last couple days, they were not unified.
Yeah, I think that I really just wanted to remind them moving forward that what we have, even without me, or what they have now continuing on is very strong. As long as they stick together, they keep their eye on the prize, they'll be able to go far. They just have to get out Marty first, and then Jess and Gino and Jace, that pair, it'll all kind of fall into place. But I think Marty is the most important person to get out at this point because he is super strong mentally, physically. He has a great story behind him. So, people would just love to vote for him. So he's got to go.
Okay. And what about Summer, your bestie in there?
Summer! Oh my gosh, my baby. Summer is just one of the greatest people I've ever met, and I might get emotional talking about it, but I think that we have so much similarities with things that we've been through in our lives. As soon as I walked in and I saw the curly hair, I was like, that's my girl.
You guys
That
were
is my
sisters.
I
You were
love her so much.
sisters. And Betty and Herman and
Betty,
Moose.
Herman, Josh, Moose, like my loves. They are my whole heart. I hope that one of them can make it to the end, if not two.
Well, what's it going to be like, first of all, watching this from home with your daughter, who I feel like was basically in the house?
Yeah.
Shout out to Sienna.
Shout out to Sienna.
What is it going to be like watching the show with her at home?
It's going to be so special. First off, I can't wait to chop it up with her and just find out what she thought about how I played. And then we can kind of figure out who our favorite players are going to be together and just finish out watching the season together. I'm super excited. I just hope that one of my squad members can make it to the end and take home that money.
Okay, so who do you think is going to win, if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, I would say Herman.
Herman. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I love
like-
Summer. I love Betty. I love Josh. All that. But Herman just has something about him. He's so charismatic. He's very, very smart.
Yes.
Outside of his funniness,
Yep.
when you speak to him, he knows numbers. He knows how to strategize. He just knows so much about this game. And I think he might win.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
you were
you.
such a pleasure in the house to watch your friendships, your lovingness. I wanted to eat all of your food and couldn't.
I'll send you some recipes.
Okay, thank you. Now, speaking of food, I love getting all the fresh house guest gossip, but I need you to make sure that you head on over to Wendy's to grab a Dave's Double of fresh, never frozen beef. More meat means more to love. And coming up, our second evicted house guest joins us on another Wendy's After the Eviction interview. Who do you think it is?
Jess.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Interview number 2 with the one and only Jess. So when you woke up this morning, did you expect to be sitting here with me now?
I knew that I had taken a gamble with who I decided to put up. I definitely could have done an easy road and gone for Dimitri 2.0, aka Gino. But I knew it was a gamble, and I did feel like a twist had to be coming, or a double or a triple had to be coming. So, yeah, I didn't know that I'd be out here, but there was definitely something coming. Y'all have been waiting too long to hit us with something like that.
I know, right?
Yes.
It was. You know what though? the cast has been fire.
Yes.
So that's been very, very helpful. I feel like it's like sometimes you just want to go, oh my God, let's just see what they do, you know? Now, I think truly the only thing worse than going out first is going out on a double or triple, but just because you don't have that time to prepare.
Yes.
I mean, what are your regrets other than the gamble? We'll get to the gamble
Sure.
you made, but
not having a very delicious outfit to be in front of you in. That's one with the double.
I was going to ask you about, you've been pulling off some incredible fits. I just want to say.
Thank you.
Well
Not
done, well
quite
done.
J level, but I'll take it.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Yeah, we were talking about regrets.
Yeah. I think just like you always do the best you can in the moment, and I think I could have taken more time to myself during HOH. I was so keen as the person who was on the outs to finally talk a lot with people, but I forget that people are pushing their own self-interests. And
yes, they are.
sometimes I wondered if I should have done an HOH with the door closed policy. You know, a lot of people
Ooh.
do the door open
I mean,
policy.
I would have loved to see it.
But it is what it is, yeah.
Let's talk about some of your ups and downs, because I
Sure,
feel
there
like
was a lot.
outside of jury, you basically have run the complete gamut. You've been on slop. You were on the block week 1. You fought your way off. You fought your way off again. You were HOH. Like, what a story. When you think back, like, what are you? Yeah, tell me about checking those things off your list.
Yeah, I feel like there was a road that was very steep when I entered that house, and being nominated day 2, I definitely didn't have it as easy as others, but I would never, everyone has their own journey in there, so that was just the road I had to travel.
Yeah.
I was very proud of myself for winning that first POV, had that necklace.
Yes.
So I was very proud of that. I feel like I did everything. I even got in the hot tub, which I didn't think I would do.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally got in there, splish-splashed around, had a bath in the HOH room. I feel like there's a lot that I got to do. I would say the only thing I didn't get to do was really socially integrate as hard as I would have loved to. But I get it. Like, when you're on the block first week, people should avoid you. You're a target. And the way that Herman said his words so strongly to me that first week, I think people were definitely worried that I was going to be a strong player and play really hard, so they didn't want to, you know,
Well,
get
you were
any
a
of
strong
that
player.
paint.
So
Well,
I
thank
mean,
you.
that's
so sweet of you.
But let's talk about those connections. So let's talk
Sure.
about Kevin, because
Yeah.
Kevin really was like your number one in there,
Yeah.
at least in the last little while.
I knew he was a gamer from the start when he said, "Oh, show me the Expedia room," and I was one of the last house guests to enter. And I'm like, "Okay, I think you know how to find it," but we kept it very brief. I just knew right away that he could be someone that we could kind of whisper to and then make it seem like we were apart. So we tried to be different ears in the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really value him. I think he's also the other total quirky weirdo in there that's maybe not always used to being highlighted in a social situation, one of the popular
Right.
kids. So we have that in common.
When you watch the show, you will see that people really did have their own agendas.
Yes, and that's
right?
fair. That's fair.
I think that's the thing that causes the paranoia, because you want to believe, you want to look in somebody's eyes and believe that what they're telling you is the truth.
Yes.
But it isn't always the case.
No, I'm sure I had the wool pulled over my eyes the whole
That's
time.
okay. You did a lot of wool pulling yourself.
Okay,
so
I
at
did a
least- You know what I
bit.
mean? You can't, right?
Yeah, I did
there's
a bit.
that. And tell me about Smarty.
Marty.
Marty.
Mr. Marty. Yeah. Marty was my oldie. We were both the oldest in the
Same.
house. Yeah. And he just was so sweet to me. Like, he didn't have to save me week 2. Week 1, he kind of was trying to stay away from me because of the block thing. He told me about it, and then you could just tell it was breaking his heart. Like, he's just such a genuine human.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gave me extra life in the game, and I always wanted to help keep him safe if I got HOH. That's what I did this week. I know he's got a hard road ahead, but he's very smart, very physically capable. I think he just needs to learn to keep the lips a little tighter.
I'm going to say good luck with that.
Right?
Marty.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say good
think
luck.
this eviction earlier before mine was proof of that he can't keep his mouth shut.
No, I
so.
don't think he can.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that calculated risk, because
Sure.
you had individual connections,
Yes.
JC Lynn as well, Josh as well. But I feel like the first group you were part of were the siblings.
Sure.
And that is the group that you turned on as HOH.
Yes, I never could fully trust the siblings for some reason. They never wanted to give me an expiry date. They were always like, oh, maybe in jury. And I wasn't fighting to just be in jury. That's why I took a big risk this week. I absolutely...
It could have paid off.
It could have. It totally could have. I absolutely adored those 3 women. They were so strong and so capable. But I just also saw how well connected they were everywhere else. And I just never thought that I could be a priority, or they never really showed to me that it was like a 4 deal all the way to the end.
It's tough. It's a two-way street,
Yes.
right? Very, very. Listen, retrospect.
Yes.
You're going to see all kinds of things.
Of
And I think
course.
you're also going to see how, you grew as a person. Like, what do you think you've learned about yourself?
I've learned so much. I mean, I'm someone who's always willing to unlearn and learn. I think there's so many people in there that have amazing things to share, and I learned a lot of things. I want to grow from my mistakes, too. I feel like I know that I can trust myself. I maybe didn't prove that in this last HOH, but definitely week 1, with my back against the wall, I've always been someone who's very persevering, very resilient. So I did prove that to myself. Got to live out a dream too, so it's like you never stop
not
dreaming.
bad.
Yeah, always
Not
build on
bad.
the legacy,
Not bad.
Yeah.
And what did it mean to you? I know you mentioned that in your speech. What did it mean to you to kind of represent in the house?
Just being a non-binary person that isn't the typical visual representation of a non-binary person. People always think that they have to present androgynously.
Yeah.
So just to help people learn that gender expression and gender identity are very different. I think a lot of people in that house have never practiced pronouns, so that was something where I was happy to shelve my multiple pronounness to have them work on it.
It was pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
we watched people get used to it and then correct each other, even when you
that's
weren't
wonderful.
around. And that was, like, very special, actually.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always proud to be that, even someone who's perceived in a heterosexual relationship. I'm actually bisexual, attracted to more than one gender, and all genders in my case. So yeah, just to have people kind of learn a little bit more, and for me to learn a little bit about everyone else's journey and story too, is like one of the coolest parts of this show. Like, that's what makes BBCAN so amazing. There's always a diverse cast, even since season 1. There's
That's
always
right.
been tons of representation.
Points were made. Well, Jessica, oh my gosh. There, and I did, and actually, you know what? I'm going to apologize because I
That's
think
okay,
I said
thank you.
Jessica on your way in the house.
That's all right.
Jess, thank you so much for
Arisa.
being a presence in this house this year.
Thank you so much for having me. You're a gem.
Damn it. I do love getting all the fresh house guest gossip. Speaking of fresh, make sure you head on over to Wendy's to grab a Dave's Double of fresh, never frozen beef. More meat means more to love. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you, Arisa.
Oh my gosh.
I appreciate you. Thanks for everything you do.